I'm here with my friend Chris today.
Hi guys.
And we're going to take a tour of his beautiful garden. So Chris also gardens in New York. He's part of the garden club. And you want to tell us a little bit more about your garden?
Yeah, sure. So I'm gardening here in New York in Yonkers. This is Westchester, just north of the city. And I've been gardening here for a couple years. Right here, we're just on my front porch with all these beautiful roses. And we also have a beautiful garden in the back, which we're also going to be touring. So these roses were here. They came with the house. There is one rose that I did plant all the way in the far corner. Sadly, right now, we had a lot of rain and it's not exactly in bloom, but it is a very pretty rose. Might be able to get at least a little snapshot of it. Yeah, it's a climbing rose. It's The Generous Gardener by David Austin, and really fragrant. But the rest of all these came with the house, and I'm not mad. I'm not complaining. I can't tell you what the variety is or the name or anything, but they look beautiful. I don't know what they are. And so this right here is just the front garden where all the climbing roses are, and we have a little bit of lawn here and two different fruit trees. This one's like I think it's an Asian pear tree, but we never get much out of it. We also have this big apple tree, which I probably should have pruned a little bit more, but I kind of just let it go. But it does provide like beautiful foliage, and there are a lot of apples on it, so hopefully the pests don't get to it all.
Do you know what kind of apples those are? Oh, there's one right in front of me. Sorry.
To be honest, it was planted a long time ago, and I know we got it like from one of the big box stores, so I honestly can't tell you what kind of apple it is. This is the first year that we've been able to get like any decent crop from it, because we usually have like a lot of pest issues, and last year it didn't produce anything, but this year it looks like it's gonna give us something, so fingers crossed.
Very good. Oh, look at this view over here. These roses are so beautiful.
Yeah, the roses do put on this beautiful show. These are all, I know they're rambling roses, because those are the type that will bloom like crazy for like a set period of time. These go from late May. This will be like this for like another 2 weeks, and then they're gone until next year. So definitely while they're here, I at least really do try to enjoy them, because they're just beautiful. And every spring I try to come out and prune them a little bit. All the kings that are diseased or dead, I'll prune. I'll add a little bit like fresh compost to the bottom, and I usually mulch. This year I didn't, because I haven't gotten to it. I'll add compost, I'll mulch, and I'll prune them, and that's really all I do to them. And I'm rewarded with this beautiful show every late spring. Here we're in the side garden. This is just a part of the house that is next to the driveway, and here this is really shaded. So on this part, it's mostly hydrangeas. These bushes were also here with the house, and right now they're going in, they're budding out, so hopefully we'll get some flowers. Last year we didn't get any flowers. I think it was like a weird hydrangea year for people, so I don't know, but it looks like we're gonna get something this year. This one is like I think blue, like purple bluish. This is a limelight hydrangea. They get big, like if you let them. And if we come further out, I have more hydrangeas here, a peony back here that just was in bloom and it's gone. But while it's here, we did enjoy them. This one is a big mulberry tree, and it's full of fruit right now. If you want to get a shot of all the ones that are here,
yes,
because they're really easy to pick, since the tree this comes down. So yeah, it's really nice to have this tree here. This is the entrance of like the back garden, and so this project here is new. I started this I think in earnest maybe like a couple years ago, and I've been like, this year was the year that I like kind of like went crazy and added, I don't even know how many pots, but a lot of pots. So I wanted to just transform this whole area into like a beautiful like potted flower garden, because this was a part of like our patio. and we weren't really doing much with it, and I didn't need this big of a patio, so I said I'm gonna take over this, and it's just all gonna become blueberries and flowers. So that's what I did. A lot of the things that I have here like are roses, but they're not in bloom, so I won't I'm not gonna say too much about the ones that are not in bloom. But back here I have I think it's like 6 or 7 mature blueberry bushes.
So those are high bush blueberries, right?
Some of them are high bush, yes, and some of them aren't. They're a mixture of different ones.
Okay, I gotta close up a bit so you guys can
They
see
all
how
have their
many
tags, but
blueberries are. Chris is going to be loaded. That's so many
yeah,
for the summer.
There's a lot of clusters, even here too, like big ones already forming.
So do you find that the birds eat them a lot too, or you can still get a good harvest?
Honestly, the birds will eat this to the point where I can get like a little bit of a harvest, but it's not gonna be like a lot. Last year was the first year that I put netting over the blueberries, and I did get a nice harvest that way. But I'm very big on like aesthetics, so putting the netting over saves the berries, but then to me it looks ugly.
I know.
So-
I'll tell you something. I'm right there with you too with the aesthetics. I still want to appreciate it, so I like to kind of leave it open too. So I understand.
So I'm gonna enjoy them. They look pretty. If I can get out here and harvest some before the birds get them, I'm happy with that. And if I don't, then I don't, because you know what? It's still looking nice. Even when it doesn't have berries, it just gives it like a good formation, right? So I always have like the leaves, especially like even in the fall, the leaves will turn like orange and red, so it still looks pretty with no berries on it. So I don't know, I really like blueberry bushes. I think they're very what's the word I'm looking for? They add form and
Interest.
structure.
An interest.
And, and interest, and you get interest to them throughout the season. So it's not only about the berries.
And also, it's okay to provide food for wildlife if the birds eat them. It's okay.
Yeah. So I'm not too mad.
Yeah.
So apart from the blueberry bushes, I have a lot of roses that I planted this year. This is a beautiful rose, and I'm not gonna say too much about it because it's not in bloom.
Okay.
But it's Princess Charlene de Monaco.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be like a very pretty peachy rose, something like this one here. That's why I put it next to it.
Oh.
And this one is Carding Mill by David Austin. And yeah, she's just looking gorgeous right now. This is like one of my favorites right now.
That's beautiful.
And it's a first year rose. Like I planted this one bare root in late March, and I'm surprised at how much growth it's put on already for one season. I'll say a little bit more. I also have, they're also not in bloom, so I won't talk about them too much, but I do have Encore azaleas. They grow really well in containers if you're looking for a plant that's low maintenance and that's gonna give you blooms throughout the spring into the fall. I love these.
What's the name again?
They're
Sorry?
Encore azaleas. It's too bad that they're not in bloom because they are really pretty. This one's like a purple one.
Did they just bloom or did
They
they
just
bloom yet?
bloom. They gave me a first flush, right after the tulips went. These came on, and now they're off, and so now the roses are here, or most of the roses. But I have 4 of these bushes spread here. It's a shame that they're not in bloom right now because they are really pretty. The color palette that I sort of was going for here is orange, you see this beautiful rose, and fuchsia, and blue purple. And so we're getting the blue and the purple from the salvia that I planted. And then I also have a lot of dahlias that I planted here. You gifted me a couple of these Cornell bronze, and I have them right here on either end.
I hope they do
And-
well for you because I did love them in the garden last year. They were great.
I hope they do good too. And so the other varieties that I have are also, this one I think is a peachy orange, the Cornell bronze, yeah?
Yeah.
So the other ones
It's more brown. It's rusty, terracotta sometimes.
Oh.
It changes color with the season, but it's very beautiful. It's very full.
Nice.
Also, so it'd be a little darker than this. But
okay.
more, but it's bronze, kind of like
Okay.
a bronze color.
Yeah, that's sort of in the colors that I was trying to work with here. Because the other ones that I did plant are like an orangey and like dark red. Arabian Night, I planted a couple here.
That's gonna be beautiful.
And then the Cornell Bronze. And yeah, so it's a mixture of mostly, yeah, orange and like red and dark red.
Chris, can you also tell us why you plant salvia close to your roses?
Yeah, so the salvias are something that I learned from a UK gardener that I follow and I read, and her name right now is Sarah Raven. She had almost given up entirely on planting roses, like in her garden, until she started companion planting salvias with the roses, because they emit sulfur that the roses will take up, and that helps them be disease-free. Black spot and rust and all sorts of fungus issues can be prevented just by planting, just from the sulfur in the salvias, by planting it next to the rose.
That's amazing.
So,
I'm definitely going to be trying that in the garden next year too.
so I try to have salvias planted next to all of my roses. So right now the salvias are looking really nice. We got a lot of rain overnight, so my petunias, if you can see the color, it's like a really pretty fuchsia color, and they are also doing really good right now. They're looking just a little bit better, but that's only because of the rain, so much rain that we got. And if we want to talk about some of the stuff that I have here on this side, again, it's more salvia. I have this rose bush here that's it's not in bloom. I wish you could see it in bloom, and I wish you could smell it. It's called sensuous. That's a picture.
It has a picture, so that's nice.
It's an absolutely gorgeous rose, and it's, yeah, unfortunately not in bloom, but
that just means I'm gonna have to come back to your garden, Chris.
yeah, it's
Eventually.
the newly planted one that I just planted, and I was blown away by the scent. So hopefully, it's putting on some new growth. So I see shoots. That's one shoot there. So hopefully we'll have some more. We'll have some more roses soon on that plant. This is a hydrangea that I planted maybe 2 years ago. Gorgeous. I can't remember the name right now, but this one changes colors. It's like, it starts white and then it like goes into like pink, and as it goes into the fall, it goes into like almost reddish. I have geranium here, Roseanne. This is one of my favorite ones because the flower's like so pretty. It's common. It's not like anything special, but I love the color.
That's pretty.
And I have more dahlias here, Arabian Night. So that's a very like dark colored dahlia. This beauty right here, if you can get her in the picture, because she's just. This one is also a newly planted rose. I just planted this one in the winter. From a bare root rose, and this is Simply Magnificent, I think her name is. It's not a David Austin rose. This one was from what's the breeder? It's not a breeder that I'm too familiar with, because I
only know David Austin, so you're educating me if you want to say the other ones.
It's something Perkins.
It's okay. We'll try
I
to
can't
find
think
out.
of it. Jackson Perkins. That's the
go.
one. This one is also, this is a David Austin rose. It's a very pretty rose, and it has a really nice like old rose strong scent.
So it starts dark pink like
this one
this,
starts
and then
dark
fades.
pink, and it sort of goes into like very light pink, apricot, and like a little bit of violet. Like you can see sort of the violet here, like right there. And it's an absolutely beautiful rose. Like, unfortunately, the rain got to most of the petals. As you can see, they're on the floor down there. But like, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's very vigorous. It has a lot of growth. This one is new from David Austin. It's Elizabeth. I think they named it in honor of Her Majesty Elizabeth II. And absolutely, it's one of my favorites. Like right now, over here on this side, if you want to get some of the green stalk that I have with the strawberries.
Oh, the green stalk. Yeah, the pink one. Show us the pink one. Everybody was raving about the pink green stalks.
So I have 2 of these, and this is like, I'm very new to gardening with a green stalk. So this is actually my first season with them. So as it goes, we'll see how it goes, because I've never really done this before. But I do love how much I just love how much you can get out of this little space. Like, I know we've talked about it a lot, and everyone is, it adds interest because it looks different. Like, you don't see something like this, like, you know, it just is, it's different, and so it just adds that pop of color and interest. And
yeah, I love mine too. So.
And it's really saving me a lot of space because, like, one of my beds actually was just full of strawberries, and while it was nice to grow the strawberries there, like, it's also, I couldn't use that bed for anything else because the strawberries they're perennial, so once you put them in the bed they stay there. And so I was like, I want to use this bed for something else. Like, I want to change, I want to be able to grow spring and summer and fall crops, and I really needed the extra space. So in came the green stalks, and like that kind of saved my strawberry stuff. So
that's great. And strawberries are supposed to do great in the green stock. I haven't grown many strawberries on mine, but they are known to be very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of growth. Like, you see a lot of flowers. There's some flowers here. This one I planted a little late. That's why it's not like you don't see a lot, because this was planted like, I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh, so it's doing good for 3 weeks if it's only 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was late. So I have the other pink one that I have. I planted it maybe 2 weeks before, a week and a half before, and it's got more growth. This is my little, I also grow citrus. Right now they're not, this plant's like struggling. It's got blooms and stuff, but it's not like, it's not.
What kind of citrus is this?
This is Meyer lemon. This one is also Meyer lemon, and it does have a lot of little baby lemons, so maybe I'll get something this year from this plant.
Oh yeah. Do you put them inside to overwinter, or they stay outside full time?
No, these go inside my little greenhouse, and they live in there. They live inside the greenhouse from November all the way through like the last frost. So so several months out of the year they're living there. This one I just planted. I won't say too much about it, but I'm excited for next year. This is a blood orange lemon tree.
Oh, that's amazing.
A blood orange tree, not lemon. It's blood orange. It's got like one little baby orange here. So maybe we'll have one orange this season. But I'm okay.
This is all about the investment in the future, right?
Yeah, I'm okay, because right now it's just like putting its energy into like its roots and growing, and it's got a lot of new little shoots here, so I'm happy with that. So we'll see what we get with that one. So yeah, this is where all the magic happens. This is like the kitchen garden.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, kitchen garden that's slowly morphing into a rose garden because I keep adding more and more roses into it. This is all my mint here.
My God, Chris, it's so much. Did you think it's like over the years it just took over this bed, or what's the story of that mint over there?
So this is actually one of the first garden beds that I had when I started this garden, because when I started, believe it or not, I only had about maybe 5 beds, and they were all like up against this wall, and that's all that I was like kind of trying to see if I was gonna like gardening. I didn't really know too much about it, and so I started out like that, very small.
And now you have all of this.
Yeah, now it's crazy, but I planted mint here, not knowing that mint was so aggressive and that it would take over this whole bed, which it did. But you know what? As the years have gone by, I'm not mad about it, because it's very fragrant, and it doesn't go. This bed right here is 2 feet wide by 4 feet long, and you know what? It flowers like really nicely. You get like a really nice white flower from the mint, and I like to use it in my like flower arrangements. And the mint, I'll also use it for like putting it into water, and it makes really nice mojitos. And so it's a beautiful plant. I love it, and I'm not mad that it's taking up all that room. It's because it's just lush and it looks beautiful. So like I said, here I try to grow everything. This is the grapevine that I have here, and right now it looks crazy because I haven't come out here and pruned anything. This in theory is supposed to go up to this wire here. And I'm trying to grow this vine across these 2 wires here. So I have to come in here really and prune and pick which vine I want to like choose to grow along the wire. But it's a Concord grape, and I love Concord grapes, and it's one of those things that you like only find in like specialty farmers markets. You can't find this in the supermarket or anywhere. So I was like, I'm gonna grow Concord grapes, and so I'm doing that. So I'm also growing in this bed. This is my eggplant bed. Eggplant, and these are I think they're, well, it's right here. The Black Beauty. I have a couple of Black Beauty, and then I have a couple of the Asian varieties. And I like the Asian eggplant because the skin is soft and you can stir fry it, and it's Asian Delight. Is this one.
I like those too. I like those better.
So I have 3 of these Asian Delight plants and 2 Black Beauties, and then I'm also growing. This is my cherry tomato. I'm trying to grow this all the way up on a single vine with this as a support.
Nice.
And I have my Thai basil here in the middle, behind the eggplants. This is another cherry tomato, and these are sweet 100s, super sweet 100. It's like the only cherry tomato plant that I grow because it's really sweet, so you have to like really sweet things. So I don't make room for anything else. I have 4 of those. That's 1, 2. This is the 3rd one here, and another 4th one right there. And then this bed, I still have to plant stuff in it. I just have 1 eggplant right here, and then my other Concord grapevine. And I'm thinking this is gonna be maybe carrots or something, or herbs. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided, but that still needs to be planted out. This bed here is my tomato bed. My big like beefsteak tomatoes. I have like 3 different varieties in here. I think I'm growing Cherokee Purple. I'm growing a couple of heirloom ones. Golden Jubilee. I like it because of the color. Like, it's a really nice yellow orange color. I'm also growing what's the name of that other tomato? Brandywine. I have a couple of Brandywines in here. I love to grow Brandywine. It's like it does really taste like it's better than like your average tomatoes. And I always make room for at least 4 or 5 different Brandywine tomato plants.
And do you grow them from seed or you buy them starts?
This is all grown from seed for the like 90%. The only thing I didn't start from seed this year were these eggplants, because I thought my eggplants that I had started from seed were looking really bad. Like, I thought I was gonna lose them. So, and I wanted to get these in the ground, so I went to the garden store and I bought 5. But now my eggplant starters are looking beautiful, and so now I'm gonna have to make room
Two
for
plants,
for like another 8 eggplant that I have. So yeah, that's what I get for like, you know, like just thinking.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so in this garden I also like to do square foot gardening because I'm trying to get like the most space out of everything. So like I said, here I have 8 tomatoes. This bed is 8x4. So I have 8 tomatoes. I'm also growing like maybe 10 cucumbers.
Oh, they're here? Oh, those are cucumbers.
Yeah, those are space saver cucumbers. So those will only grow to about maybe 3 feet tall. And what I like about them is that they're not going to crowd the bed and like get huge and take over everything. They're gonna stay relatively small. So if you're doing square foot gardening, you know, you don't want something taking over everything. So because then like, yeah, then your stuff isn't gonna grow, and you want like the air circulation and all that. So those are good. They don't take up too much room, and they only grow like 2 or 3 feet tall.
Do you have to provide a trellis to these ones?
To be honest, last year I did, and they didn't really like go up the trellis because they only grow like 2 feet tall. So you can if you want to, but it's not gonna vine out very much. It's not gonna, it's not gonna take up too much room. So like this year, I'm not even gonna bother putting the trellis on it. I'm just gonna let it go because it's not gonna vine out too much. That's what I learned last year. So yeah, so I got the tomatoes, I got cucumbers, I have dahlias that I always try to grow flowers in with my vegetables, and because it adds beauty, and it adds like the pollinators will come in, and it's just, I think it's a best practice. I think everybody should do that. They came in from last year.
So you left the tuber in the ground?
I left the tuber in the ground, and surprisingly they just came up. So, you know, like, and this is actually the 2nd year that's happened. So,
I think we're warmer than we think, because some of the dahlia tubers that I left, I think all of them that I left, because I was like, don't bother, they came back too.
Yeah, we're not too far from the city. The temperature here is pretty similar, but this is a little bit cooler than the city. You guys might be, I think this is 7 7A or 7B.
Oh yeah, you're slightly cooler than
We're
I think.
slightly cooler.
Yeah.
I think you're 7A. I think you're 7B, and we're 7A here.
Yeah.
It's just slightly cooler, not by much, but
Mhm.
it is slightly cooler. But I might just start leaving them in the ground like that because
A lot less work having to
it's
dig
less
them
work,
up
and if
and
they just
store
it's
it.
less work, and if they're just gonna come up, then why not? So tomatoes, dahlias, cucumbers. I also have herbs. They're all like baby herbs right now. I got a lot of basil here. This is Emerald Tower. This one I'm growing for the first time. It's supposed to grow really tall, so we'll see. Hopefully I get a nice harvest. I'm also growing dill that I just seeded. You can't see it there.
So this one, this Emerald Tower, is a Thai basil variety? Or
No,
it's
this
just-
is Italian basil.
Oh.
I like to make a lot of pesto, and I can't find any pesto like that's store bought that's worth buying, because after you make your own pesto,
Yeah, completely
it's not
different.
the same. It's
Yeah.
completely different, and so every pesto that you'll taste in the store is like, what is this? This isn't pesto. So I like to grow a lot of basil. I always make room for a lot of basil. So back here is the other. I got another. This is another Concord grape. Again,
so you have
it's
three.
a mess. I have 3, and I might have bitten more than I can chew, but we'll see what happens. I have to come in here and prune that one too. And this is the other pink green stalk that I put the tomatoes in. This one is further along than the other one. Like you can see the strawberries. I think I said tomatoes, strawberries. It's a little further along. I planted this one like I don't know. I don't remember now, but it's maybe a month or a month and a half or so ago, and it is growing. So we'll see how much we get. These are all seascape strawberries because
They're the same as the other ones.
they're the same as the other one. I heard they're like really nice to plant in containers, and they're very like vigorous and prolific.
Well, let me know, because I'm looking for a better variety of strawberries to grow in my garden. So
So-
keep me posted how those
I'll
will
let
do.
you know. I mean, I'm not going to be too shocked if I don't get that big of a harvest this year, because I know
Yeah.
like the first year you don't get like a lot with the strawberries. It's really like the
True.
second year and the third year that you get more. So they say you're supposed to pinch off the flowers the first year actually, so that the plant like concentrates on growing roots and all that. But I'm too anxious.
Who has the heart to do that?
Yeah, I'm too anxious, so I just I won't do that. I'll get what I get, and I'll let it be at a and
You'll be happy with whatever you get.
yeah. So this bed back here is a little bit of a mess. This is like this is
Potted cilantro.
cilantro that just went to flower, and I have
But
to take
that's
this
great
out.
because like these little flowers are great for the pollinators. They have this little composite little, they got
They're pretty.
they attract those beneficial wasps that eat the aphids and
They're
stuff.
pretty, but I do have to use the space for
Yeah.
something. I did plant my my emerald pole beans,
Which is the same that I planted in the garden. He just told me that.
yes, these are my absolute favorite beans. They're from the Hudson Valley Seed Company, and they're like haricot vert. It's very like thin beans. They don't get like very like fibrous and fat, and these are amazing like for stir fry, and they're amazing to just eat fresh off the vine, and they're super like vigorous. That's what I found. Like I've tried growing other beans just to experiment, and I stopped doing that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna grow this one because it tastes better, and it always produces the most, to the point where you can't really plant that much because you get so much from it that.
So
like,
how many plants do you have there?
I have about.
You have a lot still.
I tried for 14, but I have 12. The last 2 here at the end, for whatever reason, didn't make it. That something was eating them. But even from these 12, like we're gonna get so many beans that we're not gonna be able to eat them all. Like I'm probably gonna most likely freeze some of these, and because it's gonna be too much. Like it does like completely take over this trellis, and it's a really prolific bean.
I really like that trellis too. The way you make the little with the
Yeah,
bamboo
it's very
sticks.
simple. It's just bamboo with twine that I tied at the top, and I got 2 going at the two bamboo sticks at the top, and just putting the twine keeps it all together. So yeah, very simple.
And
but
those beans are planted like a foot, like 12 inches apart?
these beans are planted, yes, 12 inches apart. Might be even less, maybe like about 10 inches. This bed here is just another more herbs. This is oregano.
Wow, it
It
looks
completely,
amazing.
yeah, I like it. It's really fragrant. There's a bunch of bugs here, and I'm not sure what kind of bugs they are. It's really fragrant, and it also puts out like I should really like start getting into drying herbs, which is something that I
Yes,
haven't done in the
it's
past.
great for the winter.
Yeah,
Especially oregano. It's so good.
yeah, I don't know why I don't, because look at all this. Like you can get
Well,
easily.
let's get a bundle today after we finish this video. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we
get your first
should,
bundle and we're gonna hang in your kitchen.
Yeah, we should, and then because like it's a waste, because it's a yeah, I should be using it for drying. But this one, a lot of the times, what I do is I just let it go to flower, and it also makes a really nice cut flower. So
Are the
because
flowers purple in those ones? Dark
this
purple?
one is actually no, they're white flowers. They're very like they're white and kind of frilly. They're very pretty. I also have lemon thyme back here, also really fragrant. It's really healthy too. And then this, I have a rosemary here that I thought died, and then it came back. I had to cut it back a little bit because it was I thought it had
great.
died, but it's healthy. It's trying to take up room because the thyme and the oregano is like slowly taking over there. And this bed I still have to plant it. This is actually kale that I planted in the fall
Last year.
last year. It's actually still good.
It's beautiful.
And yeah, I haven't harvested it, so it's still good. But this was a bed full of brassicas and stuff like that that I planted over the fall. And I have to come here and just fix this up a little bit. I think this is going to be my winter squash bed.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I have a honey nut squash that I'm going to plant here, as well as I think it's mostly going to be honey nut squash. Yeah.
I love those.
And that's pretty much everything that we have over here. This is a pretty rose that I planted the other day. It's supposed to be yellow. It's looking more white right now, I guess because of the rain. But I try to fill the garden with pots of flowers if I have room. And there's probably going to be more roses next year, and because I'm running out of room, so a lot of them are going into pots. This bed, I'll only talk a little bit about it because it mostly mirrors the other bed that I just talked about. This is more tomatoes. Again, I'm growing the same variety here.
And you have the little bamboo sticks in there to kind of guide you for the square foot garden.
Yeah. So I call this lazy square foot gardening. So usually I'll come out and I'll have a tape measure and 12 inches. I'll space this out, and then I'll sow whatever seeds I'm trying to sow here, or if it's not seeds, whatever, like, transplants that I have will go. And I follow that method because you get more for your space, and I think it's good. But yeah, I use the bamboo, and I won't say too much. It's just again, it kind of mirrors the other bed. I have basil here, more basil, and golden jubilee tomato, brandywine, pink Belgium is another one, and Cherokee purple, and some flowers as well. I have some African marigolds that I just planted, and some zinnias. And so after we shoot this tour, we're going to be planting some peppers in this bed. This bed here, this is brand new for this year actually. This used to be, I used to grow my tomatoes in this bed, and this year I turned it into a cut flower garden bed. These are all from seed. I have Pro-Cut sunflowers, Pro-Cut white, Pro-Cut plum. I'm trying to like succession sow. So I sowed these several weeks ago. These little baby ones are just starting to come up. I sowed these like four days ago maybe.
Wow, they already came up.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to having. I've never really grown sunflowers like I'm doing right now. I usually like maybe put one or two here, but these were planted no, not even. These were planted. I did square foot gardening in here too, and I planted about 9 sunflowers per square. So it's a lot of sunflowers.
But if you're doing for cutting, you want them to be closer, so
Yeah, that's what I
they're smaller
understand.
flowers, so you can
Yeah,
actually put
that's what I understand. You want them to be closer to cut so they don't become massive and make nice cut flowers. I planted 2 new rose bushes here, and they're not in bloom, so I won't say too much about it. But it's they're called
You have the tag.
Savannah Sunbelt. They're sort of they're not miniature roses, but they're not supposed to get gigantic. I think they're supposed to top out at 3 to 4 feet in length, so in height, and they're supposed to be really fragrant. And I like pink roses, so these are pink, and hopefully they do well in this area. So I also have dahlias that I planted here. I have about 10 in this bed, and these are floret dahlias. I think it's Busy Bee.
Or Bee's Choice? No.
Or Bee's Choice, yeah, Bee's Choice. So this is going to be like a surprise. So I don't know what colors we're gonna get here. Normally, I like to know what I'm planting, just to know. Like, I'm a very visual person, so I like to like play with colors, but I want to know, like, I don't want to match every single color together and for it to look like a rainbow. Like, I don't like that. So it makes me like just a little bit anxious, just not knowing what are the colors, what are gonna be, and is it gonna like all look good? Because I like sort of yeah, I don't know, I don't like to mix colors like that, but we'll see what happens. So dahlias, roses, sunflowers. I have some zinnias here. These are I think these are pink senorita, I believe. Yeah, pink senorita, I think that's what those are. I have calendula here, a couple of them here, and those are busy bee sunflowers. Those are yellow. These here are baby pro cut plums that I just planted, and some of the where you see these my mulch, this is because I'm gonna plant some more sunflowers here, but later on, because I want them I'm succession planting it because I want them to go like all the way into the fall. So I have a couple of spaces that I just mulched that I'm gonna plant more later. These here are more, this is Pro Cut White. This is Pro Cut Plum back there, and Teddy Bear. I have another 10 floret dahlias here. This is some Gomphrena. I planted like, I don't know, like 6 or 8 of them. I also have Cosmos. Not a lot of Cosmos, because I find that Cosmos gets like really big and it tends to like really take over. So I just planted 2 per square foot in the Cosmos. So I think I have, on each end, there's 2. I have 2 Cosmos right there and 2 right here on either ends of the beds. And those are supposed to be really pretty. Those are like, it's like a fiery orangey red color. I don't remember the name right now. And this was supposed to be for my sweet peas that I planted. I've never really grown sweet peas, so I started them really late. This year, yeah, you were giving me a really good tip to fall plant them. So that's probably what I'll do, so that next year I have a nice harvest of sweet peas and they're growing up this trellis, which is why, you know, this is why I put the trellis here, because I wanted a really nice display of sweet peas. But
yeah, and then if you fall plant, by this time next year they'll be in full bloom.
yeah, that's the idea. I wanted the sweet peas here, and then I planted the roses because I wanted some color here, some type of interest, while the seeds but the plants that I do from seed, while that gets big, I at least have the roses in bloom and the sweet peas to provide interest while the bed is like all these, you know, flowers are still growing. That's really why I did it. So.
And then you have garlic back there?
Yeah, that garlic I planted in the fall, and as I understand it, it's pretty much almost ready to pick. I think it's like mid-June when you can start picking it. Like, I think it's when like the bottom half of the leaves are brown or something like this. This is my first time growing garlic, so we'll see. They look nice to me, so we'll see what I get. So once I pull this out, which will be in a week or two, I have a lot of Gomphrena that I haven't sowed anywhere. So this bed is probably going to be Gomphrena and snapdragons, This bed back here, again, I tried to plant sweet peas. They were supposed to grow up this trellis, but they're still babies. And more, these are more dahlias. These are white dahlias. I think it's white perfection. White perfection, yeah. I don't grow a lot of white. I love white flowers, but so I sowed these because I like white, and I didn't want to mix the white with all the, because I know that bed is going to be like an explosion of color over there, so I wanted this to be a little bit more subtle back here. These are zinnias that I planted. I think they're some type of light pink pastel dahlias. I don't remember the name right now. And I have more calendula back here. And this was a dahlia that you gifted me, actually.
Franklin Spice.
Yeah, Faircliff Spice.
Was it cutting?
It was a cutting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not growing very much.
It's not growing very much. Yeah, it's been at about the same size since it grew a little bit since I put it in there.
Oh, what the heck?
But
It was my first time taking a cutting, Chris, so maybe, you know.
were the Cornell bronze ones cuttings too?
No, those were tubers. I gave you the
okay,
tubers.
because those are big.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, it looks healthy. It's just not growing very much, so we'll see what happens. This part of my garden is a bit shady because I have the garage here, and it'll get morning light, a couple hours in the morning, and then a little bit of light in the afternoon. So this is all hydrangeas, and they're all white. Here, this one is almost, and then this one too right here. It's like, they're really pretty. It's like a true white.
Yeah.
And they make really nice they make really nice like dry flowers. This guy right here is a David Austin rose. It's this one is called Tess Duberville, and I just have it growing up this peach tree. This is it's a short climber. It'll get to like maybe 8-10 feet tall. Right now the rain, like the petals took a good beating with all the rain water, but it's a very pretty color. It's like darkish. This one it's usually a darker pink, and it fades into like a lighter pink. This is our peach tree, Red Haven peach.
Wow, there's so many peaches in this tree.
There's a lot of peaches on the tree, so we're gonna have to come up with some recipes for like peach cobbler, peach pie,
Salsa. Peach
salsa.
and habanero salsa.
Yes,
Yeah?
peach and habanero salsa. Everything peach. We planted this one 3 years ago, and so with fruit trees and like all the other trees, I think what is it that they say? They say the first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, and then the third year it leaps. So this is the third year. So it did leap, and we got a bunch of peaches. So hopefully we can harvest them, and so I'm very excited, and it's also very healthy looking, which I'm happy about that. And then it's a shame that you can't see the roses. This is full of roses right now. They were in there. This is the first flush that I got, and that started like 2 weeks ago. And they were looking pretty nice up until yesterday, actually, but we got a lot of rain, and the rain took care of the petals that were left. But these are David Austin roses, and I like to again interplant them with salvias. I have salvias here, and these three here. I have 1, 2, 3. I have about 5 different roses here. This one is a Bosca Bell. That's sort of the color on the rose. It's a little faded right now.
It's very beautiful.
It's still beautiful. I wish you could have seen it, what it looked like in all its glory, completely like just blooming. It was absolutely breathtaking. So yeah, I have 3 basketball roses here. This is another rose bush. I have a rose bush there in the middle, but I'm not gonna say too much about it because they're not in bloom right now. But
do you have pictures of them? Maybe we can put pictures in the screen.
I do have pictures, yeah. So maybe, you can. I do have pictures. This is another Bosca Bell. I tried to plant them, just to get that impact. I put several here.
Put together.
Yeah, I put them all together just so that it looks bushier and bigger. And this was a beautiful Sarah Bernhardt peony that lasted a couple days. I love peonies. They're one of my favorite flowers, but unfortunately they don't last very long, and they're only here for like a little bit of time.
What do you have behind you here? These beds.
Oh, these are my heritage raspberries. I planted 3 in this bed when I first started. Well, yeah, when I first started expanding the garden, I planted 3 here. This bed is 2 feet wide by 8 feet long. There was 3 small raspberry bushes that I planted here a couple years ago, and it took over the whole bed, and it's gonna grow a little bit more from here, maybe like another 6 inches, and they're vigorous and they produce a lot of berries. Last year we got a big crop, and I actually still have berries in my freezer, in freezer bags that we harvested last summer, and they're still, we haven't used them. So I planted 2 beds full of these because I figured I wanted a lot of berries, and I might have planted too many, but because again, these are like the same thing as strawberries. Like, you plant them in the bed, and then this is their home. You can't, this is where they live all year round. You can't use the bed for anything else. Maybe in the future I might just keep one bed and use one bed, use the other bed for something else. But for now, both beds are planted with these raspberries. And these are the type that don't need trellising. So these will stay sort of, like I said, up to this tall.
Oh yeah, it looks very contained. I just realized that. It looks
great. It stays
great.
contained. Yeah, it doesn't. They don't need support. There's some berries that do. This one, I forget what the type is, but this is the type that doesn't need it. It doesn't come to my mind right now. When I did plant them, I did want a type where I wasn't gonna need a trellis because I wanted something simple. Anyway, yeah, we'll get a big flush in early July, and then it'll keep going until like the fall. Like, we'll just keep getting berries and berries and berries. This here is a small apple tree that I planted a couple years ago, and I got 1 or 2 apples on here, but not a lot. It's a Honeycrisp apple tree, but it's a young tree. It's only like, this is its 3rd year. I thought we would get something here, but with apple trees, like we have the big tree in the front, it took that tree like 6 years to start producing. So I'm still waiting for this one to grow a little bit bigger and give us something. And then back here, I have more catmint. I have 3 roses here. This one's a David Austin rose, a really pretty pastel yellow one. It's called Vanessa Bell, and like you can see, it's a very pretty pastel. I'm not a huge fan of very strong yellows, but I love this pastel yellow. It's like just buttery and like beautiful. And as the rose gets older, it like almost fades into like a white. It's just really nice, and it has an amazing fragrance too. I planted 3 here, and it's, as you can see, it's almost as tall as I am. So it's a nice vigorous rose.
And how old are those?
These are mature, 3 years old. And this is our other peach tree that got peach leaf curl. And so we're not gonna get nothing from her this year. And I'm not an expert on growing fruit trees. If somebody in the comments that does know more about fruit trees, if they can let me know what I can do next year to like maybe prevent that. The other one is looking beautiful, and honestly there's enough peaches on that other tree, so I'm not gonna be too upset, but I do want this tree to be healthier at least. Does
it come with the house?
I can't tell you. I actually took a picture of it with one of the plant identification apps, and it did give me a name, and it looked to be accurate as far as what it was. But I can't remember the name right now off the top of my head, but I do love it. It did come with the house.
It is beautiful. That's why I asked. I was like, I want to get one of those if I move to a house one day, because it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It puts on this beautiful like white, well, you can see it is these beautiful like little frilly white flowers. And what I really like about it is like it puts on that flush when like nothing else is like really doing anything in the garden. Like the tulips had already gone, most of the roses weren't here yet, but this comes on really early. Like, I forget, it's now first week of June. This has been here like that maybe for like I want to say 3 or 4 weeks now.
Wow.
So and it lasts a while. Yeah, those white flowers, and it also shades the greenhouse for the majority of the summer. So I'm able to actually grow stuff in there. I know a lot of people have, because the greenhouse you want to position it where like you get the maximum amount of sun, obviously. And sometimes I know people that have that issue where they put the greenhouse and then they can't grow anything in the summer because
gets
it's too
so
much
hot.
sun and it's too hot.
Yeah.
But I don't have that problem here, thankfully, because that tree provides a lot of shade, and I do try and grow stuff in here. It's nice to have the space, like it helps you extend your season, like I think like by a good month to a half. You'll extend your season with whatever you plant in here. Usually, I don't have anything planted in here now. If you just want to if you just want to see, for what it looks like.
Of course, we love greenhouses. Look at that.
These are, yeah, so I have my little bench here, little potting bench thing, and this is nice to come in here. I like using this in the winter when everything else is dead, and it's nice to just come in here and like peek on the citrus and like see what's happening here. So it is nice. I love having it. And so yeah, I have this is nice because it functions as like shelving, and there's a little container thing in there where you can put soil into it, and this also closes up if I needed more counter space. I can close this up.
Oh,
and
that's
have a bunch
great.
of space there. Yep. And I have a little shelving unit here, and these are 2 planters that I set up last fall. Last year here I grew mostly peppers and like herbs.
Oh, inside.
So yeah, in here. So this year I'm probably gonna do the same. I just haven't gotten around to freshening up the soil and actually planting anything. But this is I do mostly use this for overwintering my citrus and stuff like that.
Do you do your seed starting in here too? I see a lot of started seeds, or you do it inside and then transfer over here? This year I actually made the mistake of starting the seeds here, and my seeds were really behind because obviously you get really cold nights. So I won't be doing that again. I think ideally you want to start your seeds inside. That's what I'm going to start doing from now on until forever. Start them inside, and then the greenhouse is nice to like transition them, like before you put them outside for the hardening, is it? Hardening them off. Yeah. I think the greenhouse is like an amazing transition, like from the outside to before you start doing that. So that's what I'm going to start doing from now on, inside, in here in the greenhouse, and then outside. These are the eggplant babies that I thought had died, and they didn't, and they're looking really healthy. So now I have to find room for, maybe I might grow these in here, I don't know. And these are the baby Gumfrina that I still have to plant out in that other section of the cut flower garden. More basil that I have here that's still growing, and this is more cosmos and basil and stuff, and Thai peppers that I always grow. So yeah, so this area right here, mostly for flowers again. Like the flowers are slowly taking over my garden, and again, I'm not mad about that. I've been purposefully growing a lot of flowers. So Chris, did you start with only vegetables too, like me?
I started with only vegetables, yeah. Like I said, when I first started gardening, like 6 years ago maybe, I did start with like 3 or 4 or 5 little 2x4 beds, and they were all just vegetables. I didn't really understand like why people would even grow flowers with the vegetables. I was like, because that's space that you could be using to grow food is what I would think, and it's like no. So now I'm much more about the companion planting and the flowers, and just like aesthetically, like it just brings in like so much beauty.
Yes, and it makes a beautiful space that you want to be in, right?
Yeah,
with the
if
flowers.
it's not going to be beautiful, it's like, for me, I like to surround myself with beautiful things. Like, so for me, like the garden is almost like an extension of my house. Like my house is surrounded by a lot of things that I enjoy looking at, that are pretty. Because if it's not going to be beautiful and if it's not going to bring you joy, then I don't see the point. So a lot of this is where this whole flower thing started, and then I purchased a Boscobel rose
from a garden center, and I was like, oh my god, this rose is beautiful. Like, what is this rose? And then I found out about David Austin, and so that went in. I've been in that rabbit hole ever since, and been slowly just adding more and more roses and David Austin roses to this garden. And then while I say that, unfortunately, these two here, I have two David Austin roses. They're not blooming right now, but they do have a lot of new growth, a lot of buds. This one has a lot of buds too right here.
What color they will be?
These are a beautiful, like, light pink apricot in the middle. Like, just, I have pictures that you can add if you want, just to see what they look like. So they like anchor this space right here, and I always have flower pots as well. These are petunias. This is I just planted that. It's the super something yellow. I can't remember what the exact petunia name is, but yeah, I like to plant petunias here with the roses. And this rose right here, newly planted. This one is not a David Austin rose. It's I believe it's from a French breeder, Mayand, I think it is. And it was just really pretty, and I picked it up at the garden center the other day because it had all these buds, and I said I wasn't gonna buy any more, but I went ahead and I bought more. So
That's always how it goes.
so it has a really nice fragrance, and again, it's like a really pretty that peachy pink color, salmon pink apricot color that I really like.
I love this color too. I love my dahlias are kind of like this.
Yeah, it's a really like versatile like color. So I planted that there. This is another Elizabeth rose, new rose bush. So that'll fill out because it'll get big. I also, it's a shame that it's not in bloom, but this one here is the Gabriel oak.
Oh, is the one I have now.
Which you
I
have
was
in your
gifted.
garden,
Yeah.
and yeah, it has a really nice scent. It's not in bloom, but this is another David Austin rose. Again, not in bloom, but it was in bloom. It had its first flush, and then it went away.
And what color is this one?
This one is like a light pink. This is the yellowish, like a light yellowish, Bring Me Sunshine. It's a new one that they introduced this year as well, David Austin rose. And so you'll have to come back and do a video with all the roses when those are in bloom.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'd love to come here and look at this beautiful garden again.
So and so I'll say a little bit about the bench. So this is like a memorial bench that I put out here for my dog Lila. She was like the heart and soul of the house, and she passed away recently, and so we wanted to honor her memory in like a very special way. So we actually the other day spread her ashes throughout the garden. So she's here in spirit now, and we dedicated this beautiful bench to her. So this is like her memorial bench. And it's a beautiful spot to sit in. I like to have a lot of different spots to sit around in the garden, and this is probably like my favorite now. It's a nice view. This tree here I planted 3 years ago. This is a Fuji apple tree, or Fiji apple, yes. This year we didn't get any blooms from it, sadly.
Oh no.
But I'm okay with that because it does look healthy and it looks like it's still growing. And I'm happy with that. So hopefully next year we'll get something from it.
So do you think you planted in here, it will eventually get really big and shade stuff, or?
This is one of the things that I'm gonna have to keep on top of and just really prune it, like really heavily prune it every year so that it doesn't like, I'd like it to obviously fill out a little bit more, but I don't want it to get to the point where it's massive and it's shading everything. But I think I can, if I prune it, I think I can keep on top of it. I did want a tree here in the middle just for like, I thought it would look nice.
Yeah, it's a great center kind of piece thing,
yeah,
you
like
know,
a centerpiece.
Yeah.
You know, again,
yeah.
like maybe not the best for like easy maintenance because I'm gonna come in here and have to prune it. I think we got everything. This is my garden, and I hope that you all enjoyed this tour.
So thank you so much, Chris, for inviting me over here and showing your beautiful garden to all of us.
Yeah, no, it was my absolute pleasure, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this tour. And Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. We actually have to get some work done because I did come here to help Chris out with his garden for a little bit.
Yes,
so.
you did, and I'm gonna use you as help right now because I don't usually get help out here, and it's a lot, and so it'll be nice to have some help.
So if you want to follow Chris' journey, he actually has an Instagram that he has been posting a lot of the stuff from this garden. So
Yes, I'm trying to post more and more now. So if you do want to follow me, I'm at Hudson Valley Gardener. On Instagram, and yeah, you can. I try to post videos and pictures and about everything that's going on around here. So
please make sure to give him a follow too. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time.
bye, guys.